afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting of the Heritage Preservation Commission to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the March minutes.
I make a motion to approve the March minutes.
I would second that.
Do we need to change that thing just to Mrs.
Yeah,
Pullman?
we
Ms.
need to,
Pullman?
we need to change under the design review, under Alliance Bank, a Mr. Pullman to Ms. Pullman.
Yep.
Are there any other changes, corrections? Motion to approve?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Motion approved. Design review is Eric Bodie.
And what we have here is a design review for the front facade of 5 North Minnesota. If you've been driven down North Minnesota the last couple weeks, you can see it's been torn out, and we've just got plywood back in the spot right now. He was waiting on some designs to come in before we pursued what he was going to pursue. And in your packet, there is a rendering of what he's looking at doing, replacing it with a wood front with the door set back into the center of the building entrance, and putting windows back in on the front facade and going back towards the door, and keeping the I-beam with the Olsen brothers across the top. And
Did
then
I-beam really say that?
what's that?
It does, okay. The I-beam really says that, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like I said, creating the storefront with wood and cement board painted black, and replacing the non-operating windows with a black trim around the windows also. And in your packet, you can see what the storefront looked like before it was tore out, when it was the Jacobs Meidel storefront, and the potential renovation as shown in the design guidelines. And with those big pieces of glass in the front that you can see, those are hard and very expensive to come by nowadays, so that's why it's shrunk down a little bit on the front there, with a trim piece going through the middle and smaller windows up on top.
This is what they'd like it to look like. That's,
And then the bulkhead's a little bit bigger on the bottom also.
yeah. I'm flipping back and forth because it's is that Casota stone on it, or is that just a yellower brick than the red brick?
That's just,
Just a yellower.
yellower brick,
Yellow
there
brick.
for that storefront.
And that stays?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yep, the only thing that's getting taken out would be that, or where that blue area is, and the potential renovation would be what the infill is gonna look like.
Okay. Eric, could you step up, please? State your name.
Oh, Eric Bodie, 304 South German Street.
Thanks, thank you. I have a question about any future tenant putting signage up. Is that going to be just then in the black area above the windows? Is that where your prospective signage would be, or on the
Sure.
windows?
So the idea would be to either have it on the front windows, front door, or otherwise similar to the chamber to the left, and then the oral surgery place to the right, above the Olsen brothers steel beam. There's a chunk of brick there goes across. They've all kind of put just like 6 or whatever inch lettering, 8-inch lettering across there. So either lettering up on top of there, or using the glass on the windows.
But it would not be on the black?
It would not be on the black part,
Okay,
correct?
That
No.
was my question. Does anybody else have any questions?
Don't believe so.
Looks good.
Then I would entertain a motion to. Any motion?
I would move to approve it.
Second.
Is there any further discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Eric. Okay. Lamplighter.
The next design review is for the Lamplighter Family Sports Bar and Grill, 214 North Minnesota.
Okay.
Install a approximately 2 feet tall by 26 foot long lamplighter sign above the back entrance. In your packet, the sign is right now it's internally lit in a red color. In your packet, you can see the back entrance of the lamplighter, the bracket that's laying along the back steps there, the size of the letters, big L in your packet there, and then kind of a mock-up of what it would look like across the top of the back entrance. Again, they're 2 feet tall, 26 foot long, and an internally lit letter. And I believe these came from the lamplighter up in Hutch. They're repurposing that sign there.
That's one of the letters. Is there any discussion?
Well, it's nice to reuse the letters again. And they will be lit.
Internally
Internally
lit,
lit.
which is not against the guidelines.
Is or is not?
The guidelines say no plastic internally lit letters. You could have, glass enclosed dimly lit, or, you know. It's next, how far is it now from the patio on the back entrance?
Well, the Naughty Kunst is in between that,
Okay, yeah.
and then it would be the Grand's patio on the other side of the
So,
Naughty Kunst, and then that open space, and then the Kiesling house to the north.
I have a problem with them being eternally lit. I would not have a problem if they were up there, but I would have a problem with them being eternally lit, because it is against the guidelines, and it is an alley that has a lot of use and would be seen from quite a ways
Mhm.
too. But that's a matter of discussion.
Were you gonna light them?
Could you step up to the mic and state your name, please?
I'm Herb Knudsen from the Lamplighter. Yeah, we were gonna, yes,
Okay.
because the parking lot and all that's in the back there and all that.
Could there be some other type of lighting put on there that might work, or?
Yeah, there is other lighting that can be put up. They would have to be lit by something over them, or,
Like a gooseneck?
A
kinda,
gooseneck lamp or
underneath and
something.
then shining on the letters?
yeah.
Okay.
What kind of bulb is on the inside of them now?
You know, I'll be honest, I don't know. And that, all I know is there's some wiring coming out of each letter that goes into that long 26-foot box.
So they all the bulbs are working as far as you know?
I'm hoping they are. Let's put it this way.
Let's say you haven't seen
Yeah.
it lit.
I have not seen it lit or anything like that. Mark is the one that brought it down to, and that's, so I couldn't tell you.
I think as long as it's dimly lit.
It's
You know,
not-
It doesn't look like a carnival, they're not gonna be bright,
Once it's up,
Like
we
that.
can't control how bright it is, though, you know.
or is there somebody who can put,
Smaller, and that's why I was asking about the bulbs, what
is this
kind of
simply an
bulbs?
incandescent bulb, or? We don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, we can,
And it's plastic.
correct, it is a
It's
plastic, yeah.
So the best thing to do is to have it underlit, so to speak.
Or backlit,
Backlit. okay.
backlit, underlit, yeah. You know, we would have to be making it an exception to the guidelines, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's, says, one part of it says internally lit or flashing signs are not appropriate for historical commercial districts. And then there's, farther on down, the general guidelines, historical New Ulm downtown has displayed some internally lit glass signs. Framed glass signage with subdued internal lighting may be acceptable if well-designed and appropriate scaled for a historical district.
That was the frame glass like they would have had, there was a meat market at one time that had it.
Right,
and
I think the
it
one
was at
with,
Beehive
the
had it.
Beehive had,
So do you remember the Beehive?
I'm not that old, I don't
I'm
know.
not that old either,
which looked,
which were fine,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it looked like it was incandescent light bulbs, just lighting up in the internal part of the sign lit up. You know, and now with the new updated guidelines, they've talked about, incandescent should be the most appropriate light source, but LED illumination is also acceptable,
Yeah.
within the warm temperature range.
Are
So-
most of those, excuse me, I'm sorry, are most of those in the front of the building, or, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the other part. It's generally it was on the front
Generally it was,
facades
yeah.
of the building, but now with the updated guidelines,
But more people have alley entrances and alley entrances are sometimes becoming major entrances.
yeah, they're talking about,
And so we're almost asked to consider the back entrances and side entrances as much as we consider the front within the district, because it is in the district.
if I can find it again, I thought I had it bookmarked here. Yeah, it does address the back entrances now as,
These are 2-foot letters, is that correct? 2
Mhm.
2 feet
Correct.
high?
that the back of the building should be considered for potential secondary business entrances. As a New Ulm, you can see business taking advantage of the secondary entrances along the alleys to the west of North Minnesota. These alleyways and pedestrian walkways not only improve
Those are pretty big
customer
letters.
access for the areas, but also significantly enhance the pedestrian circulation throughout the historical district. So it does, when implementing design improvements for secondary facades, property owners should be aware of the main street facade elements that give identity to their building or business. Any improvements should reflect the design assessments associated with their building, signage, awnings, paint colors, use of materials, should be coordinated with all public facades.
Well, it's kinda hard to know what the lighting's gonna be, if it's gonna be a soft lighting, or if it's gonna be just right in your face lighting.
Is there any way that one can be, I assume each one doesn't simply plug in, it's probably the whole,
Each one has a wire that goes into that main, that
my
26.
question, is there any way we could see how one looks?
No, not right
Yeah, it's
now.
kind of, I mean, we can't,
We
the only thing we do is tell Elwood to go down.
And that's
If it was
the
lit.
option, is table it and
Table
see
it,
what,
Table it,
Yeah.
and then
see what
have
kind of
you-
wattage we've got and
and look at it.
see what's,
What is your timeline for this?
I guess, well, I mean, the sooner we want to, get it in,
Yeah, okay, okay. Do you want to, be
yeah, I can,
represent us and go down and look at it, and then I would entertain a motion to approve pending your review of or do you wanna come back?
I think we'd just bring it back and,
You wanna bring it back?
yeah.
Okay. Is that acceptable?
when you say bring it back, what is it, a month from
A
now?
month, yeah, would be the next meeting.
Is that a problem for you?
I guess I have no choice, you know what I'm saying, yeah,
Would you want the letters up there if there were no lighting at all?
no,
You would not.
no. No, I just leave it like it is then and all that,
Not use it at all then?
yeah, I wouldn't even put it up there
Wouldn't
then,
even put it up?
no.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. The object is to get some of the, from down in the, when people,
And easily
People-
identifiable for that,
from
for
the,
your
from the
entrance,
parking lot
sure.
when they're driving by or whatever, you know what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, my concern would be the amount of light it put out, and I don't wanna be able to read it in Mueller Park. That would be my concern, so, okay, then,
I make a motion to table this till we can take a better look at this and how Elwood
okay.
bring back more information.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Okay. Now,
Okay.
I'll make contact with you, Herb, and
Okay.
come down and take a look at it.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
Letter to the Way of the Cross.
In your packet, the Way of the Cross is looking at getting National Register status. And we typed up a letter to Amy Spung up at SHPO on the Way of the Cross, and comes from the Heritage Preservation Commission and the mayor, just backing the
Do you want to move the mayor's name up to the top? or you
well,
wanna-
we
does it-
can, but
I just. It doesn't matter to me, but
Yeah.
It's from us.
it's
Yeah.
from us, okay. Yeah.
and there is
And I
a
did write
meeting,
it.
We'll see.
meeting coming up, I believe it's August 20th. Yeah, Tuesday, August 20th at
At
6 o'clock.
SHPO?
Yes.
Okay.
Where I believe Mr. Hoisington is doing their registry and stuff, and we'll be
Okay. Okay,
presenting the information to them up there.
okay.
Nice.
So do you want a motion to approve the letter? Can I have a motion to approve the letter?
I'll make a motion to approve the letter for the Way of the Cross.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Steeple repairs, since there's no pictures.
Yes, this came in at the last minute. I thought I'd get it on here, just, the representative from the Way of the Cross, Earl LaPlante, came in with this, that they are painting the steeple at the chapel and repairing or replacing any of the boards with like material that they come across that need to be replaced. So looking through the guidelines and stuff, it really doesn't need a design review as long as we're replacing like for like, but just giving you guys information what's going on if somebody asks.
I do have a question about how they're removing old paint.
They are removing it per their lead certification
Okay,
and taking it off by the means they're not using sandblasting or anything
Oh, they're
like
not
that.
sandblasting
No.
and they're capturing any of the lead paint that
Correct,
comes
yeah.
off and properly disposing. That
Yeah.
was my only question.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's what they're gonna be doing up there.
Is that asphalt shingling or is that metal shingling?
I
know
I think it's asphalt shingles up there. It's been a
too.
while since I've been up there. But I know they've been having a few issues with it
Major
now.
leaks.
And then inside with the graffiti and stuff, now they're gonna look at some of the stucco stuff in there where they have had some leaks and repair that and paint it exactly the same inside that it currently is, once they figure out if the stucco is sound or not.
Motion to approve? Jean?
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I do not have a report,
Okay.
other than, I don't know what's in the HPC meeting coming up, but it is in September, so if anybody, it is in
St. Cloud.
St. Cloud this year, so it's a little easier to get to, so, but they haven't put out an agenda as far as I'm
I haven't seen
concerned,
anything
so-
come through yet, no. As soon as we do, I'll have it sent out to you guys.
Okay.
And then just a quick report on Herman Mining Condition Assessment is up at the state for the grant has been filed out, and they have 30 days to review that, and that was filed out the 1st of July. So by the end of July, we should have any comments or concerns back to us.
And as far as the museum is concerned, I am well into my contingency. That's, is going well, though.
Yeah.
There was a lot more damage to the terracotta than anticipated. And there was also a lot more damaged brick, but we did find brick to match, so.
Good.
And we won't have to ship any of the terracotta out, so we will be reusing all of the old terracotta, the existing terracotta. And that is the finial on that side up on top is the only one that's original between the two of them, so it's good that
Yeah.
was done right now, so.
Good.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'll second it.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.